G'day tool fans, in the previous Milwaukee video I put this supercharger to the test, charging batteries, comparing it to the old charger, the rapid charger here, seeing how long things took. All the stuff that's in this video was going to be in that video, but it just got too damn long, so I had to end up making two videos. So in this video we're going to put the batteries up against each other on tools as opposed to the charger. If you want to see all about the charger, take a look at the video up in the top corner and down in the description. But if you want to see how good it goes on a plunge saw and some impact wrenches and grinders, then, well, watch this video right now. Let's start with this, the new high torque 1/2 inch impact wrench. This thing is a beast, and will it drive screws into timber any quicker with this over these two? Are you going to be more productive with a forged battery on this tool? Let's go take a look. Right, we're doing these big long buggers first, no pre-drilled holes. We're driving them straight into all this treated pine here, which I had to meticulously go through and find bits without knots in. So, let's do the forged battery in 3, 2, 1. Six amp hour high output in 3, 2, 1. $12 amp hour high output in 3, 2, 1. Now if you were to ask me right now which one I thought was quicker, I would say it was the 6 amp hour high output. These two felt the same to me pretty much, but this felt like it had a little bit more pep. It's not what other people say, but hey, that's what I'm getting. Maybe my forged battery's not quite as good for some reason. Or maybe everyone else was testing with really old high output batteries. Either way, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of tests, to be honest. Two. I don't watch YouTube videos on tool reviews. Why would I? I make tool reviews all the time. I don't want to watch them as well. Anyway, let's all watch them together here and see which one is actually the quickest. So those long screws are good for showing speed and how over time that might make a difference if you're driving a lot of them. Whereas this test with this big boy here will show how much power, how much grunt they've got, how much torque, that sort of thing. See if they can do these any quicker, because they're going to struggle a bit more doing this. And so one of them might take the place of another one that it didn't do in the last test. Who knows? Let's take a look. Once again, I'm not going to pre-drill holes. This is a 20mm coach screw requiring a 30mm socket. That's 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Forge in 3, 2, 1. So that was a bit of a struggle with the forge, if we're honest. 6 high output in 3, 2, 1. Not sure if it beat the forge that time or not. Let's take it back out. Yeah, I can't physically tell the difference with that one like I could with the longer screws. Let's take a look at the battery lights. Still showing 4 bars. 12 amp hour high output in 3, 2, 1. Well, that one split our whole top board. Oh, and our second board. That was smashing at this poor bit of wood. Got to pull this back out, don't I? Let's go. Now, that was probably a bit easier because, as I say, the board split. How about we go again in the center more, where it's less likely to split. Let's go right here. 12 amp hour high output, take 2, 3, 2, 1. Right, now I'll go look at some footage. No, what? Still got to take it back out again. Right, footage time. Just out of curiosity here, I'm just going to see what sort of temps we're running. Let's have a look at the front here. It's pretty warm on the hand there. Around the 40, 41 degrees. That's too shiny. Ooh, over 100 degrees Celsius. Yikes. She's pretty warm there. Hovering at between 105 to 110 Celsius. Ouch. No wonder it burnt when I picked it up. Right, where are we at the back here? A bit hotter than the front. Looking at 54 on the vent there. That's where all the heat comes out. So pretty toasty there. Let's have a look at these coils on the top here, see if we can get a shot of those. Yeah, we're going over 60 there, right in the very top. So she's pretty toasty. What about the batteries? Is there anything obvious on them? Let's take a wee look-see here. At the Forge 26. Pretty good considering the ambient temperature in here, the room temperature sitting at 22. Whoa, look at the color difference between that. Green through to red here. So 31 degrees, 5 degrees warmer. And the 12, not even showing up. We're picking up the impact wrench over there, but look at that. Barely registering anything. So, the high output 6 amp hour, really considerably warmer than the other two by the looks. So that's good. The Forge, definitely running cooler with the pouch cells versus the 21700 cylindrical cells that are in this. Interesting to see. It is one of the claims, of course. So I've got the track saw here set up on a track. We're cutting through, or attempting to, of course it won't go all the way through, 2 pieces of 2-inch thick timber here. It's been dressed, so it's actually only, it's 45 mil. So the saw is set to its full depth, which is about 54 mil. So it'll cut straight through the top one and part of the way through the second one. I'm gonna try and push them at the same speed, fairly consistently all the way along at top speed. And yeah, I have not got any dust extraction on, so you can see if there's any change in dust coming out the back, if it's shooting out quicker on one battery or another. Let's go 6 amp high output. .12 amp hour high output. 6 amp hour forge. Did that cut a bit quicker? Felt a little bit better. Not a huge difference though. Let's try it with just a standard 5 amp hour battery. Having trouble trying to get it to cut at all. Let's just try plunging it in the middle here. Showing 1 bar straight away. Oh, jumped up to 2. Not a happy battery. Right, let's try a standard 6, see if it does any better. Well, you totally overheated just from that. Oh yeah, we've got the it was doing the back and forward flashing lights. Now it's just doing 1 light flashing. So essentially went from fully charged to flat. This one's recovered to 3 bars. Pretty slow. Oh, now it's got the double flashing back and forward light thing. You won't be able to see it from there, I suppose. So let's go back to the bench to talk about that. So back inside, a few minutes later, this battery still overloaded. That's what those lights mean. It's very unhappy. It's very hot. The 6 performed even worse. Oh, it's come back a little bit. Not hot, but seemed to die much quicker than the 5 did, although it did have a bit more power when it was cutting than the 5, I think. But this one's very hot. So this 5 amp hour battery is hovering around the 50-degree mark. That's on the outside of the plastic, remember. So on the inside it's going to be considerably warmer. I don't think I'll be charging this one anytime soon. We're going to have to let it cool down a little bit. Another go here with the forge. Yep, the forge kicks ass. I just want to test if any of these batteries sound different. So I'll start with this. We'll go through and just see if there's any sound change, okay? Standard battery. High output battery. Forge battery. without going back and listening to that in an editing suite, it sounded to me like these two were roughly the same and that this one had a bit more oomph. Not that hard to stall, but then again, it's only an 18 volt grinder. Let's now change out the Forge battery for just the 6 amp hour high output. About the same, possibly slightly better than the Forge, but made my voice go a little bit weird there. But yeah, pretty similar. Let's try just old school. Now I showed the 5 amp hour like this one before, but I'm gonna use the 6 amp hour because the others two are 6 amp hour, but it is an American one. Don't tell Milwaukee, New Zealand, okay? You can hear that slowing down as soon as I start pretty much. Yeah, that battery, nowhere near as good as those other two. Now we've got a good old-fashioned Milwaukee grinder with a handle that, look, I don't have to hold on to. Forge battery. High output. Wow, that felt harder to stall to me. Yeah, to tell you the truth, I think it's harder to stall the high output ones than the Forge. I'm just going to have another go at the Forge. Yeah, most definitely. Back to the high output. Definitely harder to stall with the 6 amp hour high output. I had to put a lot more pressure on it. That's interesting to know. And with the 6 amp hour XC, look at that, you can just put pressure slowly on it and it'll cut out. Yeah, that cuts out real easy with the old batteries. So for me, the jury's still out with this. It's a good battery, but if you already have these batteries, then it's not a massive increase or anything in power. Some tools it feels better, some tools it doesn't feel as good. So, you know, if you're currently using old school non-high output batteries, then this will be like a totally different system altogether. I mean, it is massively ahead of that. So yeah, if you want to upgrade from the old school stuff, then that is the way to go, I would say, for the future, particularly if these do, as Milwaukee say, last longer than these. And I'm not talking about runtime, I'm talking about the overall life of the battery. If you can get more charges out of this than you can out of that, well then that's great. So these batteries are definitely better than these batteries. Are they better than the high output batteries? Well, like I said, some things they are, some things not so much. But there is other things other than just the power that batteries put out and runtime and stuff like that. There's also how the batteries are made. So this one is lighter than this one. This one is slightly smaller than this one. This one is made of nicer materials. It's made of PA66 instead of polycarbonate. Now polycarbonate's great, but they've decided to go with the PA66 nylon because of its abrasive properties and gives it a different look. It's a more matted out finish than the glossy polycarb. One of the best differences between the old batteries and this new one is the lights. These are really hard to see outside and they don't show up on the camera much either when you're making YouTube videos, whereas that stands out so much better. And they also have a trick up their sleeve, as do some of these other batteries, depending on how old they are. If you hold down the button here, you'll get some flashing lights, and if you want to know what these flashing lights mean, then I did a video on that a couple of weeks ago, up here, might have been a week ago, up there, down in the description. I am a little bit worried that when this breaks around the edge here, which it will eventually from pushing it too many times, then you can't replace it. This you could replace it because it's a sticker. This you cannot, because it is molded into the actual battery. It's like the TPE overmolding that you would get on a tool or on the base of the battery. That's what that is there. So you can't really change that. Once it's gone, and you'll end up with a hole in your battery. But they're good batteries, and I need more time though really to test them to know, you know, it needs, well, this time next year probably, before we really know whether these batteries stand the test of time and whether they hold up with their power up against the other batteries. Because my favorite battery before this was the 6 amp hour high output, and yeah, this is still a great battery. And basically I would probably use these just evenly, you know, I wouldn't pick one over the other for being greatly more powerful or useful or whatever. Yeah, so I'll check back in with you in about a year and I'll tell you whether I think that's heaps better than that or whether these are still the way to go. Now there'll be some new Forge batteries soon as well, I think an 8 amp hour and a 12 amp hour, which from what I hear are not going to be pouch cells. This is a pouch cell battery. These are cylindrical cells. The new Forge, the higher ones, are going to be cylindrical cells like this, but they'll be tabless. And that's another whole video. I've talked about that before in previous videos, but this video will be getting too long now as well. So if you want to know more about that, make sure you subscribe. Check out the other videos that are up in the top corner if you're on something that has them showing, and down in the description. And I will see you all on another one soon. Please consider subscribing. Patreon's down there as well if you want to see things early and not have to watch ads. Cheers everyone. See you later.